Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I'm back with another review. And today we're actually finishing up the Wave 1 Beast armor figures from the Rise of the Beast Alliance subline. We're taking a look at Arcee with Silver Fang, and then Bumblebee with Snarl Saber. And interestingly enough, I didn't realize this was going to happen, but Silver Fang and Snarl Saber are actually retools of one another. They end up transforming in similar ways and functioning the same way. Arcee and Bumblebee are completely different figures, but that's how they work. And I got these off of Amazon.com. That's where all these figures can be found right now. My advice is go to the Transformers storefront and just search Rise of the Beast. They have Optimus Primal, Arcee, Bumblebee, so you can do the entirety of Wave 1. Also, these are showing up in retail, mainly Target. That's where I think the majority of them are showing up. So you can go ahead and pick them up there. Well, that's about it for the review, intro at least. So what we'll do now is we'll pause and we'll come back and take a look at Arcee and Silver Fang. Okay, so just a few notes before we begin. Something interesting that I noticed about the instructions. Arcee, like Optimus Primal, has the instructions laid out where they show you the beast partner and how to work with them, that the robot can hold the weapon in the non-armored mode, and they kind of show you how to finish like attaching the combined weapon to the figure. And then they go into the combined armor mode. Bumblebee actually starts off by showing you Bumblebee how to transform, and then the other side of the instructions shows Snarl Saber putting the tail on and stuff like that. Just a little something I found interesting. Now, also, unfortunately, my Silver Fang came with some quality control issues, and that's the front legs being very loose. It actually doesn't take much for them to like buckle underneath. One actually frictions into place, the other one does not. I actually don't see how that can change or work, but it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So we're going to put that figure aside for the moment and take a look at Arcee. Arcee comes in this motorcycle mode, and again, talking about packaging and instructions, the packaging for Arcee is kind of interesting because it actually shows the rear of the motorcycle looking very different compared to what it actually is. And this is the actual combined mode, the transform mode, the leg pegging in like that, the hands coming into the side, and then sort of frictioning into the back of the other leg. It almost looked like the just revealed today weaponizer version of Arcee, but who knows? So to get started with the transformation, the first thing you want to do is just go ahead and let's move that leg out of the way. So that will allow you to come in and untab the arms and the hands from the back of the motorcycle. Then let's just swing them out, get it out of the way. You can then go ahead, straighten that leg out, and then flip up the rear wheel so that one leg is done. I guess right now what you can do is straighten out this leg a little. The knee pegs into the shin there, and then you can straighten out the front of the motorcycle, which is also the chest. Turn the legs forward so they're straightened up. Turn it at the waist there. Bring up the head and rotate it around. And there's Arcee in its robot mode. Rather simple, not a lot of articulation. Arms are all just one piece. Ball joints at the knee, at the hips, and then hinges at the knee. You do have a little bit of a waist, or actually say torso articulation, since due to the transformation. Now, let's go ahead and bring Silver Fang in. And the first thing you want to do is remove the tail. It just slides into place. And it becomes a sword. Arcee can hold the sword in either hand. As you'll see, it really depends on how the armor fits. And to do the armor, we're going to go ahead and just plop Silver Fang on. And I'm looking real quick at the instructions because one goes, yeah, on Silver Fang, you want the head to face off to the right, tab it in, flip the paws up, just like so, and then we can just grab from the top here, bring the panel down, and instead of folding it out flat, what you want to do is then fold up that panel. It'll tab into place. So you basically have the armor done. Now what you want to do is remove the top of the head, bend the lower jaw section forward. There's a blaster there. You can then peg the armor in on that arm, grab the sword, peg it into the hand here, bring that forward, and there you have Arcee armored up, ready to rock. I would say the joints are a little bit tighter than on Optimus Primal, so it does sit a little bit better. And a few people have actually caught on that besides being these Cyberverse Spark Armor style figures, this is actually very close to the Kamen Rider game style of figure with the form change and stuff like that. And as you can see, there's a more exaggerated form of Arcee's face. I get a winter vibe from this figure, that this is basically a figure designed for winter missions. In terms of articulation, I'm still just trying to position it so it's balanced. In terms of articulation, you do have below the waist the same articulation. The arms now are a little more restricted due to the armor, but there wasn't a lot there to begin with. So we will pause, and then we will come back, and we'll take a look at Bumblebee and Snarl Saber. Okay, so here's Bumblebee with Snarl Saber, and Snarl Saber appears to be either a jaguar or a black panther. Although looking at it under the lights, it looks a little more of a purple color, almost a dark blue. I don't know, it's really not coming across. Well, it's coming across a little on camera, so who knows. As you can see, the limbs are much tighter than on Silver Fang, so there is that. But we'll put the figure off to the side, and we'll look at Bumblebee. And Bumblebee is, I would say, an old-style Camaro design, which the character has used in the various toy lines over the years. And there's, of course, Bumblebee peeking out at you. Car rolls very nicely, get into transformation, pop the arms out, bring them down, just like so. Let's then come in. Oh, bring up this panel here just to loosen it up. And after you do that, you can flip out the legs just like so. Now the feet are kind of interesting. You can actually fold the feet all the way up, as you can see on this side, but that reveals a gap. I think there's actually supposed to be a natural stop where you get that solid black appearance. So just flip the feet forward, just like so. Separate the legs, keep the arms down. Come up here, bring the front of the car down, form the chest. And now this backpack will collapse downward, and collapse inward. And there's a little peg that will go into a hole right around the back of the neck. And there's Bumblebee in its robot mode. Kind of comes off feeling a little lanky and a little taller than usual. To bring Snarl Saber back in, let's go ahead and remove the tail, same way as on Arcee. This is some sort of, I would say, like a sword whip type of weapon. Now, Snarl Saber's head will actually attach to Bumblebee facing off to the left. So let's go ahead and do that. And I found it a little like had to use a little more force to get the figure to peg in the holes, the pegs to go into the holes on Bumblebee. Let's fold up the legs, fold up, pause right there. Yeah. And if you hear that popping, that's actually me hitting like putting my hand. It's like the natural way to grab this, and I'm pushing on the windshield. So that's maybe a little bit of a negative. But now we're going to do the same thing we did before with Arcee. Bring this panel down. That will fold out the sides like that, and then we're going to flip it up, and it will form the chest. There's that exaggerated Bumblebee face. And then come into the side here. Let's remove the top of Snarl Saber's head. Straighten out the arm there. Peg it into this arm. And kind of if you accidentally hit the chest plate there, it will release it. And then instead of just pegging the weapon in, it actually comes into the side here. I'm going to clip it into the hand. And there we go. There's Bumblebee. Obviously, the extra length is to make it a little more proportioned when it's in the armor mode. So there is that. But looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and bring Arcee back in. And you can see the differences they've done here with the figures. You know, I mean, they transform the same way, but they do use the same... they transform the same way, but new panels, new weapons. So it's kind of cool. I mean, even it's like obviously the different heads as well. Again, these are fun figures. You know, obviously simplified, kid-friendly. So there's that. What we'll do now is we'll pause and we'll come back with my final thoughts. Okay, so Arcee and Bumblebee, great additions to the Beast Armor line. Kind of cool, kind of fun. We have seen Scourge, so we know that figure's coming as an addition to this line. We know that Arcee's getting a weaponizer. I'm sure we're not done with Bumblebee. We can never be done with Bumblebee. So I'm sure there will be other versions of the figure, but right now I think the weaponizer sets are my favorites of the Beast Alliance subline. So as I said in the beginning, got these figures off of Amazon. They are in stock now, as well as the Battle Changers, the Beast Weaponizers. Unfortunately, the Battle Masters are out of stock. The Mass are in stock. The Optimus Primal Smash and Change figure is in stock. And that's about all. The Core, Deluxe, and Voyager figures are not in stock yet, but they are showing up at brick and mortar retail at stores that don't even have the figures available online. So there is that. So I'm just trying to help you out here. I know it's a little confusing. What's coming, what's out. I really think we're going to be seeing just the product being pushed out due to the delay, trying to get out of warehouses. So if you don't see something one day, it might show up the next day, and you might, get lucky and find stuff like a Wave 2 Mirage Battle Changer like I did. Well, somebody else did and I bought it. But you see my point. Fun figures, make for great desk toys. If you really want a fiddly desk toy, I would go with the Battle Changers, but that's just me. That's about it for the review. If you like this review, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. While I will always appreciate the views, the likes, comments, and subscriptions, help to communicate to YouTube through their algorithms that my channel should be exalted and held upon high. If you want to make the ultimate sign of support, I do have a Patreon. It is www.patreon.com/chuckdog1999. All I ask for is $1 a month, $12 a year. No thrills, no tiers, no special rewards. All you're doing is helping me help you to help me help you bring figures like this to you, as well as keeping up the infrastructure of the channel. But as I always say, if you can't do the $1 a month or $12 a year, your views are more than thanks enough. Patreon is just a cherry on top of an already generous sundae. and I appreciate you guys sticking with me for over 10 years now. That's about it for the review. For Arcee with Silver Fang and Bumblebee with Snarl Saber. We will see you next time.